We're going to make the case for the Jets to draft a wide receiver in the first round. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's going on? I'm Matt O'Leary, back with another video, and today I'll be talking about making the case for the New York Jets to go wide receiver in round 1. Before we get started today, I just wanted to mention you can follow on social media at Matt O'Leary NY, and if you haven't already, please make sure to check out the Just Jets podcast. Also, this video is brought to you by LinkedIn. These days, it could be hard to find and hire the right candidates for your small business. That's why LinkedIn Jobs made it easier to find the people you want to talk to faster, and guess what? It's for free. Create a free job post in just minutes on LinkedIn Jobs to reach your network and beyond to the world's largest professional network of over 770 million people. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the candidates that you want to talk to faster. Did you know every week nearly 40 million job seekers, visit LinkedIn. So post your job for free at linkedin.com/mo. That is linkedin.com/mo to post your job for free. Terms and conditions may apply. So yes, going into 2022, the New York Jets have a ton of needs. That is not up for debate here, but I'm going to try to make the case that the Jets shouldn't draft a wide receiver in the first round. Now, there are many ways that the New York Jets could attack the first round of the NFL draft. The really only one that I don't see the Jets doing is going with a secondary piece, whether it's a safety or a corner in the first round. That's not to say that I don't like any of the safety or corner prospects. I think there are some good ones at the top of the draft. I just don't think, based on scheme, what the Jets have shown in the last couple of years, positional value, that the Jets are going to go with that particular area. So the positions I see the Jets attacking are edge, wide receiver, offensive line, maybe linebacker, but I think it's going to be one of those four that the Jets end up going with, or I guess two technically, because they have 2 first rounders. So I obviously have been a big proponent of going with George Karlaftis early because I think you're missing on Thibodeau and Hutchinson, and I'm a big Karlaftis fan. But I also think you could absolutely make the case for a wide receiver. Now, obviously, it's dependent on what happens in free agency. Like, you go out and you sign Devontae Adams. Obviously, you're not drafting a wide receiver in the first round, but I think you can make a case for it being a good idea. I mean, look at what the Cincinnati Bengals did for their rookie quarterback a couple of years ago. They drafted Joe Burrow first overall in 2020, right? Yes, 2020. And then they took T. Higgins at the top of the second round. The Jets this year took Zach Wilson second overall, and at the top of the second round took Elijah Moore. The Bengals then added Jamar Chase in the top 10 at wide receiver, and that really just expanded the offense because now they have a ton of different weapons that they could utilize for their young quarterback. They have a really good running back in Joe Mixon. You have T. Higgins. You have Jamar Chase. There's, you go right down the line. The skill position group is pretty damn good for the Cincinnati Bengals, and the thought process is you obviously need a lot more than just Elijah Moore and Corey Davis, which those are the big two that are going to be going into next year. Was I a fan of Denzel Mims? Yes, I thought he was going to build off a pretty promising rookie year. I liked him a lot as a prospect coming out. He hasn't shown that this year. You can't go into 2022 banking on this guy going to do a complete 180. Can he? Maybe, yes, and that's just a bonus at that point, but you can't go into next year relying on him to be a regular. Jamison Crowder is likely going to command more than $9 million in free agency. You just shelled out big bucks to Corey Davis in free agency. You're going to do it again for Jamison Crowder? I'd say probably not. You're going to lose Keelan Cole to free agency, and let's be honest, he's probably not worth bringing back. Braxton Berrios is a free agent who, yeah, you should sign, and he should be depth, but you need more than just that, and obviously you have to attack tight end, but we're focusing on wide receiver here. Your best value might very well be drafting someone early and having your pick of the crop, because while there isn't exactly one standout guy who you're like, oh my God, this is clear cut the best, you have like 4-ish different options of who could be the first receiver off the board, and all of them are good in their own ways. So it's kind of just what you want for your offense. So I'll go through each guy who I think could be a potential to come off the board first at wide receiver, and which I think would be best fits for the Jets. So to me, my favorite wide receiver in this class is Jameson Williams. He is from Alabama, and man, is he explosive with the ball in his hand. 6'2", 189. He has really good hands, and his athleticism just jumps off the chart. Where he can improve is probably his route running, so that might knock him down a little bit of a peg for this offense. But I think when you look at just the straight up athleticism and what he could do with the ball in his hands, that makes him that much more enticing. So sure, he's probably not the same kind of route runner that Elijah Moore was coming out, but we can't deny the talent that Jameson Williams has. And there's absolutely a world where he's the first receiver off the board. And it would be a ton of fun to watch him in this offense with the New York Jets. So I'd be extremely happy if he ended up being the pick. Another wide receiver, you have two Ohio State guys, so I'll talk about both of them right here. Garrett Wilson, 6 foot, $188. He's dynamic with the ball in his hands. He projects probably more as a slot receiver, so he's kind of similar to Elijah Moore. So if you want to go with, hey, this is the kind of receiver that we want in what you had last year in Elijah Moore, and continue to add more players like that, then Garrett Wilson's probably your guy. But I don't think that's necessarily what the Jets are going to do. So I'd be surprised if it was Garrett Wilson that the Jets targeted as a wide receiver in the first round. Nothing against Wilson. I think he's a great prospect, but in this offense and with what the Jets already have, I don't know if he's going to be the guy. Chris Olave, I mean, this is an interesting one. 6'1", 189. Now, he is a great route runner, right? So that is, okay, that's a check mark in a box for what the Jets usually like to check off on and what you need in this offense. But he's not the best contested catch guy, which is probably what the Jets are lacking a little bit. So while I would put Olave over Garrett Wilson, he's probably below Jameson Williams for me. And then the last guy who I think could be a potential fit, I don't know if I would go with him in the top 10, but he kind of fits exactly what the Jets are looking for, and that's Treylon Burks at 6'3", 225. Now, he is an X receiver. The Jets don't have one. It would be really nice to have a big X receiver like him, but he could also play in as a big slot. He's done it. So that just adds an extra element to his game. He is at elite level at going up and getting the 50-50 ball. And he's very tough to bring down with the ball in his hand. So while he is obviously good with the football guy, it's not exactly like Elijah Moore or Jameson Williams where it's like the pure athleticism while he's hard to bring down. No, he's just tough to tackle because he is a beast with the ball. He's huge, 6'3", 225 for a wide receiver who is really good at going up and getting the football. That could add an extra element. So to me, I think the two guys that I think would make the most sense for the Jets, wide receivers in the first round, is Jameson Williams and Treylon Burks. I tend to lean Jameson Williams, but would not be upset with either of these two guys. Wouldn't really be upset with any of the four. I just think those two that I listed would make the most sense. So sound off in the comments or on social media. Should the Jets go wide receiver? Which one should they go with? Let me know. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Matt O'Leary, and I'll talk to you next time.